Salut! It's time to go over the correct answers for your study guide. Now, before you view this video, go ahead and make sure that you actually took the time to try doing the study guide on your own, and then use this video as a way to check your answers and check your understanding and see what you may need to ask some questions about before you take the test next class. So first things first, the first section of your quiz is going to be a listening section in which you'll hear people talk about how old they are. So they'll make statements such as j'ai 15 ans or j'ai 21 ans, and you'll have to basically select how old the person is from a selection of 5 choices of numbers. This means you need to be able to hear and understand your numbers. So what I'm going to do for you right now is go ahead and pronounce all of them 0 through 30 so that you can hear how they sound, and go ahead and kind of think to yourself whether or not you would recognize those in a sentence. If you need to, replay it several times so that these are sticking in your head. Try listening to them without looking at them, and just kind of practice that way so that you can be ready for this listening section. So again, here are the numbers: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. The next section of your quiz is going to have you matching some French statements. So you'll look at a French sentence and you'll match that with a picture that demonstrates it. So these are some of the phrases that might be used in this section, and you'd have to match them with a picture that demonstrates them. So the first phrase, ça va bien, means it's going well. You'd probably match that with a picture of somebody with a smile on their face or a thumbs up because they're having a good day. À tout à l'heure is see you later, so you'd want to match that up with somebody that's waving goodbye. Salut Marc, ça va means hi Mark, how's it going? So it'd need to be somebody like saying hi and maybe asking them a question. Au revoir, à bientôt means goodbye, see you soon. Again, that would have to be somebody waving goodbye. Plus ou moins means so-so, as in if you ask somebody ça va, they might say plus ou moins, so-so. So maybe somebody kind of, laying their hand out flat and shaking it side to side to say that I'm doing, so-so, just okay. Pas très bien means not very well, probably somebody with a sad face or a thumbs down. Bonjour, Madame Dinwiddie is hello, Mrs. Dinwiddie, as in somebody saying hi to an adult, particularly in this case your teacher. And then j'ai 16 ans is I'm 16 years old. Best I can imagine there is maybe the picture would show a birthday cake with 16 candles. Again, make sure you're familiar enough with these phrases to be able to read them, understand them, and match them with the picture. Part C is going to give you a conversation. It's going to be 5 lines, very similar to this one. It will be written all in French. You'll have to read that conversation and number it to put it in the correct order. So right now this is scrambled. You would have to put the conversation in the correct order. Now I went ahead and wrote the meaning of the phrases out to the side so you can kind of see how they go in the correct order. Don't forget, if you ask somebody ça va, you're asking them how it's going. If somebody says ça va bien, merci, it means it's going well, thanks. If someone says bonsoir, comment tu t'appelles, they're saying good evening, what's your name? If somebody says je m'appelle Jacques, et toi, they're saying my name is Jacques, what about you? And je m'appelle Luc just means my name is Luke. Now again, you won't actually have to write the definitions, but it helps knowing that so that you can put the conversation in the correct order. Here's the actual correct order. So the first line of the conversation would be somebody saying bonsoir, comment tu t'appelles? Good evening, what's your name? The second line would be that person answering what their name is by saying je m'appelle Jacques, et toi? They said my name is Jacques, and what about you? Since they asked the other person their name, the third line needs to be je m'appelle Luc, my name is Luke. At that point, you only have 2 sentences left to choose from. One of them is a question, one's an answer. It just kind of goes to reason that you would want to start with number 4 being ça va, how's it going? And number 5 being ça va bien, merci, it's going well. Again, be familiar enough with these that you can put them in the correct order. The last section of the quiz or the test rather, is probably the hardest. and that is because you have to come up with some sentences off the top of your head. It's also one in which you have to be able to read and understand the question in order to answer it correctly. So for example, on number 1, you have to know that comment tu t'appelles means what is your name, so that you can then write off the top of your head, je m'appelle, and then don't forget, anytime I put asterisks, it's because you need to fill in your own actual name or answer. In this case, je m'appelle Madame D means my name is Mrs. D, because comment tu t'appelles is what is your name. Again, for number 2, you'll have to be able to read and understand that tu as quel âge is somebody asking you, how old are you? And then you will need to be able to respond using your own age, which means if you have not yet learned how to spell the number that is your age, you need to go ahead and learn that before the test. I've got 31 in asterisks here and stars because that's my age and not any of yours. But my particular answer is j'ai 31 ans. But if you're 16, you need to know how to say j'ai 16 ans. If you're 15, j'ai 15 ans, such as that. The third question, comment ça va? How's it going? There are lots of right answers to this one. Today I chose to use pas mal. Pas mal means not bad. Go ahead and look back at your notes though. You could use bien, which is good, très bien, which is very well. You could say something like plus ou moins, so-so, it's going so-so. You could say pas très bien, not very well. Lots of choices there. I just chose to use pas mal here. When somebody says to you, je te présente Julie, c'est un ami, you're going to know that they're saying to you, I'd like to introduce you to Julie. She's a friend of mine. The way you respond to an introduction from somebody is you say, nice to meet you, which in French is enchanté. Now, ladies, if you are writing enchanté on your paper, you need to include this extra E. Gentlemen, please don't. I will be looking to see if you are a gentleman that you're leaving the E off, and if you yourself are a lady that you're adding that extra E. But again, enchanté means nice to meet you. And when somebody says à plus tard, they're saying see you later. And basically any goodbye phrase will work. You could say au revoir, you could say salut, you could say à tout à l'heure. I chose to go with à demain, which means see you tomorrow. But again, the choice is yours. Lots of right answers on these, but do watch your spelling. It will count. Last thing I need to tell you is make sure that you bring this study guide back to class. If there's anything you're not feeling confident on, go ahead and jot the answers down so that you're ready to go over them before you all take the test. We'll only spend about 5 or 10 minutes going over the study guide before you get right into the test, so come ready. Keep in mind that you will not be allowed to use this study guide, nor will you be allowed to use your notes or your book on the test. This is completely from your own brain only. Good luck, and I'll see you next class.